They told us to give a disclaimer. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters, any guests, and do not reflect any of the management, owners, sponsorships, or employees of thereof. Pretty much, if you're soft, don't listen to this podcast.
One thing I pride myself on is just being the same and trying to look out for my folks along the way.
Like, even with all these, big things happening, like, you still mad humble, and you still, like, you have enough clout now where you could easily be like, I'm not fucking with this, I'm not fucking with that.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers, it's on.
Unrestricted Podcast listeners, thank you so much for clicking play. Because of you, those numbers on YouTube are going up, up, and up. We're almost at 1 million views. By the end of 2024, we better be at 1 million views. And it's all because of you. If you're listening on the audio platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Kent, I did confirm we're on SoundCloud, so we're there. I appreciate you. Make sure you share it with a friend. And as always, if you want to buy some merch, you can go on to allrock.com. Really appreciate you. Now, today, we got a very special guest across from me. 2 special guests, actually. Somebody that you're familiar with is my man, Kent Mafaleo. Are you going to say hi?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
You've done this before, brother. And somebody that you brought to me, well, honestly, you posted him, and I was like, whoa, I would love to hear his story. I would love to have him on the podcast. Is my man, Marty.
What's up, guys?
Now, Marty has an interesting story. Aside from him wearing the very disrespectful Michael Jordan last shot on game 7? Was that 96 finals?
It's not disrespectful. It's just history.
It was a push off. All right. Brian Russell's still talking about that to the day. It was a push. But Marty, man, you have an amazing story, man. You were incarcerated for 23 years straight. When I hear that, I instantly think, wow, like that's a long time away from family, friends. That's a long time to redefine who you are, really. But I want to backtrack just a little bit. Are you from Utah?
No, I'm originally from Illinois, but I've been out here since I was 16. Kicked it out here for a couple of years, and then went to my new house, the Utah State Penitentiary. So been there ever since until a month ago.
Fresh out into this wild world.
I lived in prison longer than I lived in the free world. So
how old were you when you?
18.
18.
About to be 42.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's a long time.
It's a little bit. It goes by faster than what you think, though.
Come up closer to the mic. I want the people to be able
to. It goes by faster than what you think. I mean, I don't know. It seems like this time's like a crazy thing. You go through a spurt of like 5 years that seems like nothing, and then you'll do 2 that seem like the shit just took forever. It's just weird. Go through changes, and there are ups and downs, highs and lows. You hit everything. You get it all in.
Now, before we jump into like being behind your other house, as you mentioned, what brought you to Utah from Chicago or from Illinois?
Yeah, I was getting in trouble when I was a little bit young, man, and it was one of those things. My uncle stayed out here. He was in the military, and so it's like, I probably should pack my stuff up, go try to get a new locale, and see if I could start over, do it a little bit better. It ended up worse, but
What was your vision of Utah when you not being on the West Coast or Mountain West? What did you think about Utah before you actually landed here?
So my first thought was when we pulled up, we're driving down State Street. I was like, where is all the black people at? And I mean, this is like 20-something years ago too. So there's a lot more diversity now. Like I noticed that.
Yeah, the city's definitely developed, and there's a lot more minorities out here with voices.
You ain't lying.
There's a lot more.
Yeah.
So uncle was in the military. You're looking for a better life. What was the house?
I was 16, man. It was just one of those things where it's like we probably should get him out of here before he puts himself in a situation he can't get out of or gets killed or something. You know how it is. Just when you're running the street, things happen.
What was what city were you in Illinois?
Aurora, mostly Chicago Heights area, but
what was household like? Or do you have brothers, sisters?
Yeah, I got a couple of brothers from a different broad, and then I got one brother that's with my mom. That's a full sibling. That's it. Yeah, that was nice. I had my boy come swoop me up from prison. Well, I had Kent come get me. But my brother flew all the way from DC, you know what I mean, just to pick me up, you know what I mean, after 20 some years, just to be able to come out the gates. It didn't work like that. Flights and shit. There's blizzards and all sorts of stuff. So I had to have him come get me.
Oh yeah, man, you were released in winter. I'm assuming, is he still in Chicago?
Yeah, no, he's in DC right now.
In DC, well,
Yeah.
still, them winters be crazy too out there. The DMV, Virginia, all that crazy winters, and especially out here too.
They hate it out there. Yeah.
So, grew up with some siblings. What was childhood like in Chicago in Illinois?
Definitely different than kids nowadays. I'm gonna tell you that much. But I mean, you know, just running the streets, being a dummy. I mean, I probably was semi right when I got around 12. My pops died, and I think that was like the catalyst for, you know, the downhill situation. It was real good. Did good in school. You know, honor roll, all that shit. They used to call me Smarty Marty, like all my fan bam and shit. And then that happened with my pops, and things just changed. The mind state changed. Traumatic, you know what I mean?
That's one of my worst fears is losing my father, and I can only imagine losing your father at 12. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people still got theirs. So I just try to tell them, like, when they lose theirs, I mean, shit, just try to enjoy the time you have, man, and just remember the good stuff.
I recently went and watched. I just celebrated 11 years with my girl, my wife. And she took me to see that Bob Marley movie, One Love. And you look at the short span of the 36 years that Bob had and how much he maximized his time with meaning. So when you talk about time, I instantly go to like prolific things that has inspired me. And you're right, man. You got to take advantage of the time that you have, especially with the ones you care about. It might not be blood. It might be somebody that's just super down for you, that has showed their true colors. You show them how much you appreciate them and how much you love them.
No, for surely, man. Like, I mean, if it wasn't for Kent, my boy Steve Secure, let me give him a shout out too. That's my dog right there. That's my roadie, my childhood friend. But I don't know, man. Like my whole idea of getting out, like I knew it was gonna be a little bit tough. And then, you know, we had the couple of weeks, the little honeymoon phase or whatever. I'm just eating, chilling, you know what I mean? I'm with everybody that I'm comfortable with. So I didn't have to feel that feeling of uncomfortability. But once I was like, all right, I got to start doing something now. It's time to get busy, get a job, do all that. And instantly I was like, oh my God, something's wrong with me. Like I feel like I'm dying. So, I mean, it was heavy, man. But we get through it, though. You know, we do what we do, just like anything else. You know, it's a moment in history. It'll pass by, and you'll be better for it.
You get to Utah. There's not a lot of color out here. Are you close with your uncle? Or what are you doing during that time?
Yeah, I was.
Because you're an adult at this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought I was, but yeah. No. Well, it was one of the few family members that I had out of state that. You know, I had a better relationship, and that was the one that was stable, where I had some stability because my uncle was in the military. So it's like, oh yeah, we'll send him out there. That'll fix him. And so, you know, and to be honest with you, I mean, I was doing bad for a minute. It wasn't like I was doing that bad, but I think, brother, most of the people that are in the pen, I mean, that's based off a couple of seconds, couple of minutes of their life. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't define who they are for the most part, you know. So I know so many people in there. Great life, a few seconds, something happened, and now they're done. So,
which is all of us, right? We all have these moments in life where it's like, are you going to do this or are you going to do that? And if regardless on which one, it's going to be repercussions for both. Whether if it's riches or it's behind bars, whatever it is, we all have these choices. And which is why I'm so glad that you're here, man, because you actually got out of that situation. 23 years. I would love to start with or come back to 18. What's going on in your life that directed you to get caught up in the situation that gave you 23 years?
I think if if I had to call it, man, just being a kid, being immature, not being able to control my impulses. I put myself in a situation, drug deal gone bad. Somebody tried to take something from me and they ended up dying. You know, it wasn't my intentions, but that's what happened. You know what I mean? And that's why I say a few seconds, one situation, like one spot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't no angel, but you know, that definitely wasn't my plan for the night, that night. I was just trying to chill, but things happen. That's why I try to tell cats in the pen, like, man, it was just a weed deal. You know what I mean? And ended up doing 23 years in prison over it. I try to tell those cats, like, you know, just because you're doing what you're doing, anything could happen in the process of you doing it. You know what I mean? If you're doing something negative shit happens. If you're doing positive, it's a lot less likely something bad's going to happen, you know?
So a drug deal gone bad, and it was marijuana.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that shit's legal now?
Don't be blaming marijuana.
We're not blaming marijuana, Kid. That's Kid's contribution to the podcast today.
Yeah, marijuana did nothing.
No, marijuana gave us Exodus, the greatest album of all time, right?
Yeah.
So, but
love.
but the thing that just it baffles me is that, like, in 2024, you can literally have a store and do what you were doing. You know what I mean? And you lose, a life was lost. I mean, 23 years of your life was lost too, right? Can you take me to maybe not that night, but maybe finding, being arrested and going through that process? Were you on the run?
Well, I thought I was good, honestly. So I kind of was just chilling. Plus, you know, I don't know, just being a dumbass kid. I don't know how I thought I was all right. I mean, I should have been panicked or whatever. But yeah, like a couple of days later after it happened, you know what I mean, old boy that was with me, he testified, did his thing or whatever, you know what I mean, met with the DAs. And so they already pretty much knew everything, his version of events, you know what I mean? And I never testified. They never got mine. You know what I mean? The only thing they know is, I don't know what you're talking about from me. But I mean, you know, when I went to my board hearing, though, I just admitted to that shit. We didn't want to mess with them people, man. They know what to do with you. But,
And that's the feds.
No, just state.
State?
Yeah. Yeah, my case was state.
Oh, he's saying like the Board of Pardons is
okay.
Basically like the judge inside. Once you get sentenced to prison, to the state penitentiary, the judge sentences you to prison, and then from there you get your time determined by the Board of Pardons. It's a group of people, you know, and then you go in front of them. They decide how much time you're gonna do.
So instead of fighting it, you're like, nah, we'll just do it.
Well, I mean, I'm already guilty at that point, so. But if I don't admit, you know what I mean, to what I did, and I did do it, you know what I mean, so I might as well go ahead, you know, minus bringing anybody else's name in the equation. You know, I stand accountable for what I did, and I ain't got no excuses, so hit me with it, whatever you guys are going to do, you know what I mean? I take accountability. Just gave them that speech. You know, everybody got that same speech. They hear that shit 100 times a day, but you know, so I went there. I thought I was going to pretty much get a little bit of time. I thought I was going to do about 15 or something like that. Ended up doing a little bit more than 20, but.
And this is 2000, the year 2000?
Yeah, 2001.
And so you do the crime, you get picked up. How far from the crime did you get picked up?
I think it was like 7 to 9 days, something like that. It was a few days, at least a week.
What take me through the time when they actually picked you up?
Oh man, they knocked. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was watching, getting ready to watch Enemy at the Gates, and I was pouring a cup of Kool-Aid. I seen some white dude at the door, and I'm thinking to myself, because my homegirl lives in government housing, I'm like, what's a white dude doing at the door? Like, this must be the people from housing. And so I just sat there. Next thing you know, I heard the door boom, looked over. They had pistols on me. I was over.
And they took you in, no fight, nothing?
No, I was done. They'd have killed me. I already know what time that was. Plus, in my head, you know what I mean? I still thought I was good. But
obviously at this time, before the incident, you're already in neck deep. You're already dealing, right? You've been doing this. Yeah,
I wasn't frazzled. It was one of those things like, well, they ain't came got me, so I must be good.
Was there a reason why you thought you had to have a pistol at the time?
Yeah, well, former gang member, you're selling drugs. You know what I mean? Like,
Just safety.
yeah, I don't understand. I noticed that out here. Like, you got bill collectors and dudes gang banging, and they don't have no weapons. Like, that's weird to me. I don't know how you could be in the game and not have something for protection, but yeah, that's why.
Low key, I was thinking about the other day. I was like, why don't missionaries have something? Like, missionaries don't carry nothing. Nothing for protection.
They cloaked in the word of God, brother. They cloaked in the word of God.
So you have this situation. Somebody ratted on you,
Yeah.
right? You get picked up. Did you know at the moment of the incident? Did you know that homeboy passed away?
No, like a couple of days later, I saw it on the news, and I was like, damn. Well, I'm not finna go over there no more. Let me stay out that area. But yeah, we seen it a couple of days later. Because from my standpoint, I thought he was good. I mean, he was gonna be a little worse for wear, but like I said, that wasn't my intentions. But things happen the way they do. They happen for a reason.
No thought of leaving. No thought of leaving Utah.
No, so I thought we were good. We were good, man. I could have left. Yep, I could have left.
If I shoot somebody, I'm out. Even if they live, I'm out.
Yeah, I suggest that you did. You know what I mean?
But I'm a law-abiding citizen, so if I shoot somebody, it's with the I got.
No, he didn't shoot nobody though. It was like hand to hand.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I beat him to death. I had a strap, but like I said, I wasn't trying to kill him, man. It was just one of those things. It was his decisions kind of led us to that point and knocked him out, and then just kind of, I guess, went ham. Had a moment, like show enough on him.
So you get picked up. What's the intake like when you're going into jail? Have you been in jail before?
Man, you know what's crazy? Like I got almost no record before this. You know what I mean? But it was a trip, man. Like, I'm not gonna front. Like, that first 24 was rough. I remember sitting in intake, calling my uncle, lacing him up, and just like, hey man, they got me here on a murder beef.
Are you at 9th and 9th West?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. ADC, wherever that's at.
Okay.
Yeah, ADC. So yeah, I'm in there chilling, call my unks, let him know, like, yeah, it's all bad. He's like, you were supposed to be going to turn yourself back so you could go to college. Yeah, we're not worried about that right now. We're fighting a murder case. I'm just letting you know where I'm at, and we'll see what happens. And that first day was tough, man. And I let a few tears drop, you know what I mean, on some poor me shit. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, all right, we can't be doing that. And just put my head down and got through it.
How was the officers treating you during this time when you get picked up, when they're driving you to intake?
They were all right. I mean, as far as cops go, you know, like I guess I could put myself in the shoes of a cop and be like, oh yeah, we busted it. We took another bad guy off the streets. I really don't trip on the cops anymore, man. Like, there's a lot of them that I don't like, but at the same time, like, I kind of look at it now, like me being in the pen and over the course of years, seeing things happen. Some business is hood business, but I like to think that, you know, somebody in my family, I'm sure, like you, your daughter, or, you know, anybody, like, you know, be nice if somebody was there to help them out when you ain't. So I don't have the same views on police anymore. But I mean, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I'm not on no Blue Lives Matter shit or nothing like that, but
yeah, that thing is weird to me, to be honest with you.
It is strange.
It's weird to me.
It is.
So they take you in. This is your first real time, like, being incarcerated. When you hear the charges being read to you, what's your feeling like when you're being charged with murder?
Devastating, man. Devastating. You're just panicking. You're like, damn, like, what the hell can I do to get out of this situation right now? But you're already in jail. You're already done. And so now you're just, I don't know, I guess I probably went into regret mode a little bit and just trying to roll back and think every single thing. Got to think too, at the time, I didn't know that I was getting told on or anything like that. I had no clue how they knew.
I'm sure you're thinking your boy's solid.
For surely did. But, you know, man, I mean, shit, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't like crying about the time I got, because anybody that's lived a lifestyle, I mean, you've done more than that. I mean, you could have got caught for a lot more stuff. And unfortunately, I probably didn't need the whole 23. Would have been nice if I could have got like 12 or 13. I think I would have been ready to get out right there, like completely changed my mind state for the most part, and just ready to put down the bullshit and act right, basically.
I mean, 18, by law, you're an adult, but by up here, you're still an adolescent. We've all been 18. I honestly, I didn't feel like I became an adult with feelings and understanding of life until I was probably 30. Right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot on society to put a lot of like psychological things on an 18-year-old. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, is 25 life?
30 in the state of Utah, 30 years is considered a life sentence.
Judge gave you 23. That's what you were sentenced to.
Yeah, well, no. So Utah has indeterminate sentences. It's one of the few states in the United States that has indeterminate sentences. So they can hit you for a class 3, which is 0 to 5. A 2 is 1 to 15. That gives them a lot of leeway. I mean, a 1 to 15 could be a damn auto burglary or an attempted murder, but it gives them that leeway to hold you. That's why I told you when I went in there to the board, I was like, yeah, I did it. My bad. Like, I'm not gonna mess with them people. I'm gonna just admit to it. But so when Utah got you, man, they got you to the balls. And then there's 5 to life, and the 5 to life doesn't have to be a murder, but they could literally keep you for the rest of your life for something that you did. So
that's 5 to 99.
Wow.
Yeah.
So technically a life could be up to 99 years.
Yeah. The judges always write a recommendation in the state of Utah, but they have no real power. Once you're sentenced in the state of Utah, it's up to the Board of Pardons on when they want to let you go. So
when you're in court and they're reading your sentences, what's going on through your head?
Man, I was angry. You know, at the time I had the audacity to be angry at my situation. And, but like I said, man, looking back, you know, I understand that, you know, I did what I did. I mean, I wish I wasn't in prison that long. I don't think I needed to be there that long. I think in most cases, I don't think prison is a correcting experience. I think it's chastisement, but I mean, you know, I guess they got to figure something to do with us.
How long did you do in the state?
A little bit over a year.
And then they moved you to prison.
Yeah, I was holding out for the best deal possible. I wasn't going to take it. I was going to fight it. In like 3 days before my trial, they offered me 2 to 30. Popped at my brother, and I was like, well, this way, you know, maybe I'll do around like 12 or 15. You know what I mean? And I don't get natural life, so they can't give me natural life if I only got 1 to 15s. He's like, take that. So I did. Thought I was going to do. My lawyer said I'd do about 12 to 15 on the high end. You seen what happened to that?
Did you have a public defender?
Yeah, well, yeah, he had his own practice though, and he did mine's pro bono. So I had a good lawyer. I can't say that I didn't.
Do you think that most guys locked up get good representation?
No, not by public defenders, 1, and number 2, especially if you haven't been in the system, man. I mean, like, just look at the questions we're asking you. I mean, a couple of the things we clarified with you, like, you go in there, you don't know nothing, man. You got all these cats pulling up on you, trying to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. And it's like, you know, you're here too, pimp. Like, I appreciate your advice. So you just don't know what to think. You don't know what to listen to. Like, it's a little bit of a traumatic experience. It ain't like I went to prison for stealing a pack of gum and I know I'm getting out soon. It's like, man, what do I do in this situation? Like, there's nothing literally that I can do other than just sit down and chill and just maintain.
That's always been something that my brother and my sister that has been in the pen, that has been locked up, is if you ever find yourself in this situation, make sure you have good representation. You have good lawyers. And they've always told me that a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys take things that they shouldn't, and they should fight when they could beat things. And especially the ones that didn't do nothing, because there are people that are locked down that did not do what they're being accused of, or how bad they're being accused of it. That's why I think that even just the knowledge that you guys are giving is very helpful, because it can happen to any of us, especially any of us with brown skin.
Yeah. Just got a lawyer up and don't say shit. Don't say nothing. Don't answer no questions. That's it. It's your best bet.
So you get to obviously you did your time in state. You did about a year, you said, right? Mm-hmm. How was that time?
Horrible. Anybody that has been to prison, they don't ever want to go to the county jail again. That's for damn sure.
Why is that?
Food sucks. You want to beat up all the cops. Those fools are ignorant. But the ones in the joint are a little bit better, I think. But yeah, it's just bad all around. And then you're dealing with you figure when you're in jail too, everything's fresh. You're dealing with that situation actively. Like you may be sitting there in the section not doing anything, but this is during the time where we're about to decide what's going to happen with you. You're either going to get off or you're going to get laid down, one of the two. So
you end up, at what point do you find out that you're being transferred to prison?
After sentencing, you do your pre-sentence report and all that shit, you know what I mean? And that's like their little assessment, you know what I mean, that they do of you, whether you should be sent to the joint or not. I don't think they do that no more either. They used to have like a 90-day eval, you know what I mean, for everybody that's first-timers, put you to the side and say, all right, do we got to send this guy to prison or not? But they don't even do that no more. And I didn't see many dudes go home from that. So, I mean, I think once you're there, you're there. You're hit, you're done. So you might as well buckle down. Some dudes got more, some dudes got less. But
now you're transferred to the point, right? The point of the mountain. At the time it was there. It's no longer there no more. What's your first intake into Utah State Penitentiary is? How was that?
It seemed like a madhouse to me at the time. You know what I mean? It just seemed like some quickly thrown together shit. But I mean, you just end up getting pushed through a line, basically. You see that you're a number at that point. You see that you're a number and they're calling you by that name and number. You know what it is. And it's like one more step in the process of realizing like, okay, I'm here now. I'm not in jail no more. They moved me to this prison. This is different. It's another adjustment, new people. You know what I mean? And but I guess on the other side of it, at least I know what's going to happen to me to a point. I know I'm coming to prison. At least now I'm here. We can start this leg of the journey.
You're a teenager. Was there anybody that prepped you for the transfer?
No, I mean, there was a couple of people that I had, a couple of my family members that I were talking to and stuff like that out there that have been to the joint in other places respectively. But I didn't really have anybody out here that I knew that I'd been to the joint. So, and like I said, I kind of was, you listen to what everybody's saying, but you don't know if these dudes are right, if what they're telling you is true or not. You know, I mean, everybody acts like they know everything, it seems like sometimes in the joint. So everybody, especially when you're a kid, you got all those dudes that want to act like they're your dad or something, you know what I mean? And some people got genuine, you know what I mean, good positive advice for you. Some people don't. It's kind of hard to sift through it sometimes. So I didn't know what to do, man. I just was trying to keep my eyes forward, just remember what the people told me that did go to the joint and just stick to myself. And, you know.
How about when you get to prison, they ask you, one of the first things when you get there and they're like giving you your like intake and all that, they're like, where do you want your body sent in the event of your death?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was like, probably sent to my mom.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, shit.
Damn. So what do you say? Do you say send me to Illinois or?
I mean, I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I might have told him, fuck you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't remember at the time. I was a kid. I was very combative, you know what I mean?
So you get to Utah State Pen. Do you have a cellie at that time? When you first go in? I mean, 23 years ago.
Yeah, you always got a cellie. You always, I mean, unless you're batshit crazy, you ain't got no cell by yourself. So, I mean.
And are there levels? Like, are there more? My brother used to tell me that he was in max for being a violent offender. But are there levels in the state pen? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they got classification levels and stuff. But, yeah, basically, like, I mean, unless you're in Olympus or unless you're in, like, a certain the college program, which I don't know what's going on with that. They changed the prison now. Those were the only two ways that you live by yourself. And
Olympus is a section?
That's the crazy house. Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
For like the mental, like people that are challenged, or sometimes people coming off of meth, they're like meth-induced psychosis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're so messed up in the head. They've been up for so many days straight. They have to go over there.
They named
for
it
a little bit. It's called Olympus.
and they named it a beautiful place. Mount Olympus is beautiful.
All the sections in the prison are named after the mountains, except for where the sex offenders are.
What's that?
It's because SSD.
Oh.
Like you got the Okers, you got Wasatch.
Gotcha.
You got all these places.
Damn. So you get in, you get you're in there for, you know what's going on now. You're doing your time in prison. You get your cellie. Is your cellie cool? You guys have issues?
No, my first cellie was Brian Roosevelt, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a friend of mine. He ended up lacing me up, like letting me know what was good, you know what I'm saying, and how to respond and what to expect from dudes. And like he was probably like the first person I really sat down and I could feel like he was shooting it straight with me. You know what I mean? So that was good. And yeah. So I had people coming up to me and talk to me. So I had a lot of cool cats that I met that like helped me along the way. So
when did you start programming? When did you start to get the program?
Immediately. Yeah, especially if you bang or anything like that, you know, your boys are going to put you on the program right away. They're going to let you know what you need to do, let you know what's expected of you, and then you're expected to do that. So
How do you take that as a hothead young teenager? Do you just listen, or did you combat that?
No, I listened. Like I kind of tried to pull back, you know what I mean, a little bit from cats immediately, because it's like, you know, they're like, "What's up, man? Do you need anything? This, that, and the third?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm straight." Because everybody told me don't take shit from no one. But surprisingly, dog, like the respect level in the penitentiary is extremely high, and as crazy as it may seem, I think dudes in there are more likely to be like, take the shirt off their back for you, even if they don't know you type shit. Like, see you walking around, like, "What's up, man? You need some clothes? Like, you don't got no homies or nothing? Hold on, man. Come here." And sometimes it's the dude you least expect, but there's a lot of people in there that are like that, man. Like, everybody in there tries to, "Excuse me, please, thank you." Like, it's a lot different. Like, coming out here after that amount of time, like, I talked to the homie, kind of prepared me for it, but it's just a different game now. Like, people don't pay attention. Like, the courteous level is low. The respect level is low. Whether they mean to be like that or not, it's just like a different planet, dog.
Well, it's regions too, right? Like, it's a lot different. If you go down south, a lot more yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You know what I mean? Here in Utah, it's a little bit different. A lot of bit different.
All my friends' parents love me. Yeah, they're like, "Who is this guy?" "Yes, sir. Who is this guy you brought over? I like him."
Yeah, being a son of a father, my dad's black, right? My mom's Mexican. And my black side, they're all from Tennessee. So they're all from the South. So it's yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You treat your aunts like your mom, you know? Like, there's a lot of that. And yes, some of my friends, it's not like that. It's a lot. It's a culture shock. So you program, you're in the program, you're in the system, you know what's going on. How is the mentality? Are you depressed? Are you angry still? Are you just like, hey, it is what it is?
I'd probably say like the first 3 years were rough, man. Like I was angry. I had a lot of regret. You know what I mean? I was emotionally immature. You know, that's why I said, man, like all that time, like a good majority of that time, I needed that. You know, I needed that. Unfortunately, you know, I couldn't figure out my situations that I had within myself by myself. It took a drastic situation, you know what I mean, to see what was going on. But yeah, it was rough those first couple years, and then finally I had to tell myself, like, man, like, you're not happy, you're walking around, this is how you're acting. Like, the only person this is affecting is you. It's not getting you out of prison. So I figured I had to change my way of thinking, be a little bit more positive. It wasn't no overnight shit, not at all. But you know, I worked on it. I'm a little bit better.
As somebody that hasn't been in behind bars, I don't have a record. Honestly, when I listen to people, my friends and stuff that have been in the joint, in Utah, out of Utah, I have friends that went to Rikers Island. I have friends that have been in prison in California, and they talk a lot about politics. Is there any Utah politics in the pen?
I mean, yeah, like the last couple years, things have been things have changed a lot and it's got more like politically driven. But you know, man, just like any politicians, I mean, don't get it wrong. I mean, you meet a lot of good dudes in the joint, man, that are like stand-up dudes. I met my dog right here and there. You know what I mean? This is my boy, man. I got out, didn't leave me on my ass, got a place to stay, like I'm good. You know, but yeah, there's a lot of stand-up dudes in there, man, but there's a lot of dudes that you know, they're out for themselves, and I mean, you can't blame them. I mean, somebody got to take care of you, right? Mm-hmm. And so you wait for somebody else to do it, you're gonna be sitting there doing bad. And some people, everybody deals with shit their different ways, man. But the politics, man, politicians, I don't think it changes from the United States government to gangs. I mean, there's some dudes that are stand-up dudes, and then there's a lot of dudes that just maneuver shit, you know, to fit their needs and whims. I think you can say I really don't subscribe to the politics. I mean, I'm gonna fall in line. Like if you're in there, you fall in line, or you get put out of line. But you know, I'm not into that shit. I don't see the point. I don't see the. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Then it just makes people fake more.
I see the tattoos and stuff. Are you getting blasted inside, or how's the tattoo artist in there?
Shit, I had my dog, man, my cell dog do it for me. My boy Antonio Medina and shit. It's my little brother. I lived with him for like 10 years of my sentence. And yeah, he did all my work for me.
Oh, do you tell him? Does he come up with some artwork and he's like, yo, let me, like, how does the approach for getting artwork go inside?
Well, first I let him put a couple of messed up tattoos on some other people until I felt comfortable. So I got to see his progression in the works. Yeah. There's always somebody that'll let you tattoo on them. Yeah. I just told my homeboy's little daughter last night. She's like, I want a tattoo. So all you got to do is just ask your friends. So, hey, man, let me give you a tattoo. I bet you they say yes. But, yeah, there's always somebody that's cool with being a sketch pad for you.
Yeah. I wonder what, like, you ain't afraid of it. Not you?
Not me.
You're bougie, though, huh?
I tell him, man, you better make my tattoo look good, man. I'm gonna give you some free dental work.
The mausoleo looking a little crooked.
Dental plan.
What's the workout plan look like inside? Are you guys working out, or are you guys just lounging? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm struggling right now. I've been going to the gym with my dog right here, but the speed of life, man, is fast. I was one of the ones up in there talking shit, like, oh, you motherfuckers, man, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. And I got out, I'm like, whoo-wee. Like, I did like 2 things today and my whole day is gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? I did like 2 shifts and I just went to grab paperwork and something else. And next thing you know, it's nighttime. I'm like, man, how am I going to do this?
Well, that's gonna change here. We got daylight savings coming in about a few weeks now, March.
Oh, we're adjusting, baby. If we can adjust to 20-some years in the pen, we can adjust to this. This is great. So,
were you there during the transition to the new facility?
Yeah.
How was that? Did you guys find out? Like, who tells you that you guys are gonna be moving?
You don't know until you get that call. You get that call the night before. They wait till after everybody's in their cell. So just in case if you want to buck, you know what I mean, about your little situation on some I'm not going shit, then it's just you and the cops. You ain't got no backup. It's just your house. But yeah, so they wait till after they rack you in and say, hey, roll your shit up. Where am I going? Don't worry about it. You'll know when you get there. Oh, okay. That's how it is.
Whereas Utah such a small state, where especially Salt Lake City, we're a small city. Did you see a lot of people, familiar faces, when you got in there?
Not really.
No.
I mean, I had a small circle on the street, so.
And you got to figure he's only 18, so.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I'd only been out here for a second, you know what I mean? Couple years, but.
Did you end up being the old head that was telling young buck?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I had like 12 kids in there. Nah, I'm just playing. I don't act like that. I hate those dudes, man. I hate those dudes. I always tell all the little young brothers, like, look, brother, we equals, man. You don't take orders from me. I'm not your dad. You're a grown ass man, or you wouldn't be in here. So, but
what's the drugs like inside?
Good.
Do you see?
Nah, I'm just messing with you, man. Do not do drugs, kids.
Do you see a lot of it though, being pushed around?
Normal. I mean, you know, you got a drug habit, man. A lot of dudes would do anything to get high. So I mean, the cops do their jobs, the inmates do their jobs. It's just a revolving process. It's an ongoing There's their side, your side. You know, I just try to keep my opinions and stuff like that to myself. It's not somebody that I'm directly involved with. I have no opinion.
Yeah.
There's definitely drugs up in there though.
And I think I told you about it on one of our episodes, Kent, where it's like marijuana is legal for the people that need it, right? You're seen by a doctor, you're given a card. And I'm a believer that it could, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I think it could help with some of the anxiety inside. Maybe some of the people that really need some THC in their life.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be beneficial to the guys inside if they legalized it and gave them?
Oh yeah.
No, definitely.
It was beneficial to me every time I partake.
Okay.
Yeah, we wasn't wet out the whole time, you know.
Was the original state pen at the point, was that co-ed?
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
the
yeah, they
women's
had
side,
a
right?
women's side, but it's not like co-ed where
They're not together.
At one point there was 288 and Star was like together, and but yeah, no, it was just like there was women housed there, and man, yeah, you'd see them like at the infirmary sometimes. I went to the dentist one time, and they was like, I felt like, they're like, look at him. I was like, oh shit.
Did you have this? Did you have the beard at the time?
No. But they were like sizing me up. I was like, oh, I was uncomfortable.
Is there a barber inside?
Yeah, they have like not necessarily a barber, but the lady or a dude that comes and cuts hair for like what, $3, $2, $3,
$2,
or we'll break the razor and put it on the comb and fade your hair like that.
Did you ever have any jobs?
Yeah, I had a few. I was a floor technician,
What's that?
a janitor,
Oh, okay.
floor technician.
For some reason, I thought he was doing construction.
No, you like that though. It had the desired effect. You know what I mean? Surgical with that shit. I did that. I did the food handler shit. I got in a lot of trouble in there. So I kind of like once I got to a certain point, I kind of got blackballed from the jobs. That was my fault, but. That's what's messed up though. Like for someone like me that's in there that whole time, there's no break. So when I do get in trouble, it stands out. And these cats, this is their career. So 20 years down the road, I met you 20 years ago, and you still remember like yesterday, you know, some shit that I did that was like 15 years ago. All these other cats are getting out, coming back. So they don't have that. It's just not the same animal. So they get more chances. Whereas me, they don't get no break from me. So it's like, yeah.
Did you ever have, and I don't know the correct lingo, so forgive me, did you ever have more time added to your sentence while you were incarcerated?
No. I do think that I hurt myself, though, my chances of getting out early by getting in trouble, but, yeah. I never had no time added to my sentence. I thought I was going to a couple of times, but, you know, slicker than worm sperm, I guess. A little bit lucky.
Did you obviously you went in early, right?
Yeah.
Did you have any kids before you went in?
No, and you know what, man? I'm like, that's the craziest shit. Cause everybody, they always ask me like, you know, one of the standard questions I get is like, man, what's it like? Like, how did you do that? How did you do that time, and what was the worst part of it? How did I do the time? I just tell them like this: it's simple. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? What you can do when they lock the door and you can't leave. I mean. Your only other options is to kill yourself. So that's not for me personally. That's not an option. So, you know, it's like, what are you going to do? Cry about it or just handle it? And then as far as in the family, no, I didn't have no kids, man. But like, that's one of the things that has hit me powerfully. You know what I mean? Like my dog got a kid on the way. My other childhood friend that I mess with, you know what I mean, on a daily. He's got like 8 kids, dog. And like, that's what his life's about, is the family thing. And so it's like I'm going from, I feel like in a way that whole 20-something is past, and that whole gap was just locked like it never happened, and I just got put somewhere. Like, figure it out, you know what I mean? And I'm not by myself, but so I think just that span of time, and I ain't been here living that with them. So to come out and to see them having all their shit together and everything, like it's a good feeling, man.
Yeah. They got a strong uncle with stories and things lessons that you could teach
Yeah, all my dogs, they all been to the joint, man, and they've got out and they've switched their lives around, man. They're successful. So
how do you decipher that though?
Success?
Not success, but knowing that, hey, all right, I'm gonna roll with the person, like my man right here, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously he's on the right path. He's changed his life. He's starting a family. How do you know that? Okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm close to this person versus other people.
I mean, I think you can know who you want to get close to. I guess maybe, but whether it's gonna happen or not is something different. I mean, when you just like any of your boys, man. I mean, that's really your dog or it's not. And I mean, this cat's been out like 9 years, man. I never lost touch with him. He never lost touch with me. Tried not to ask for too much. Anytime I did need something, he came through. You know what I mean? So I just got lucky. It's good to know. You know what though? I knew it too when we was in there kicking it. I told him, I was like, you know what, G, you are going to keep in touch with me, huh? Like I could feel it, you know. And I don't be getting that feeling. I like a lot of cats in there, you know what I mean, and even feel close. And then be the same cats that you never hear from again when they leave. So that's why I try to keep my social circle small. It's just easier that way, man.
Man, there's a bunch of disappointment out here. So I can only imagine how you deal with it inside, right? Like some of the dudes I went to school with, some of the dudes that I've done things for have turned their backs on me. One of the reasons why I got this place was because I had a partner, and 8 months into our lease here, he bounced. I had to come up with the next year of finances for this place. And it's like people that you don't believe would let you down sometimes do. So for guys to give up trust, both ends, right? To give up trust, that's a lot, man. That says a lot about a person.
Yeah, no, man. And I think in the process of doing it, I mean, like this dude don't wake up every day telling himself he got to be a good person, you know what I'm saying, and do his family thing. You know what I mean? That's just in him. That's who he is. That's what he's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be him regardless. And it's refreshing, you know, to have people in your corner that's like, hey, if I say this thing, this is what it is. I don't got to read into it. I don't got to go back and think all night what he meant by it. I mean, we're just straight up with each other, and I appreciate him, respect him as a person. He knows all that, man. You know?
Did the family of the guy that lost his life, did they ever reach out? Did you ever hear from them?
Yeah. So his girlfriend, I guess that's the broad who found the body. She hit me up through letters. I responded to her one time. I kept it cool though. I didn't talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, hey man, this happened. My fault. I apologize that you had to go through that. You didn't have anything to do with it. I kept it short and simple because I was worried. You know what I mean? I got to be cool with her. Shit, she can show up at my board hearing, thinking of it from that perspective. But also, though, I genuinely did have remorse for, you know, obviously his family, for anybody that was involved with him and cared about him. None of those people did anything to me, and I would hate me if I was them. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any hard feelings towards anybody like that. I apologized to the family at my board hearing. You know what I mean? And for whatever that's worth, I'm in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
there's a lot of. I'm assuming everything that I'm saying is just assumption and things that I've seen and heard. I'm assuming there's a lot of negativity in there, but was there some positivity? Was there some things what are some good things that happened inside the house?
People wise or just in general?
I mean, you talked about people willing to give their shirt off their back.
Yeah, there's I mean, you know, I think it's just like out here, you know what I mean? There's people that are positive, there's people that are pessimistic, you know what I mean? It's just you're going to gravitate to what makes you feel good, you know what I mean? The people you click with, you know what I'm saying? And I know before I was a major negative person. I don't think I'm still an overly positive person, but I'm not as bad as I was. But I found out, like looking at my circle, I hang out with a lot of people that are positive people, though. So I guess that's me just knowing I need that and pulling up on it. You know, I need that positivity.
Were you locked up before 9/11?
Yeah.
I
saw that shit on TV.
Take me through that.
I mean, realistically, dog, I didn't give a shit. I mean,
you're fresh in there.
Nobody was on that plane that I knew, as far as I'm aware of. You know what I mean? I know it was a tragic situation, obviously. I mean, we're Americans. I mean, I think about that in prison terms too. Like, I think about prisons in other places. I'm like, damn, we got it good in here. Really? We kind of do. Like, I know you guys don't want to hear that shit right now, but we do, though. Prison standards. But
did Uncle get deployed? Was Uncle gone during that time?
No, he was already too old.
Oh, okay.
We'll just put it like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've seen a lot of things transpire between 2001 to what, a month ago. One thing that you mentioned was the letters. One thing that I know now is that these motherfuckers get FaceTime now. The technology of communication. Man. How was that because you go from doing letters and maybe a phone call to now some of them got was it iPads?
Yeah, tablets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you like this, dog. I don't know how I got like 50 device passwords, and I try to put the same shit every time. I still be messing my password up all the time. Like, you seen me? I lost my phone. I even got my phone. I'm like, where's my phone at when I came in here? So I'm still struggling with that shit.
Shit's been ringing the whole time.
Yeah, I know. I heard it too.
Where did you fall? Did it fall? I thought it was yours.
It's on him.
Oh, it's on you.
I know you didn't see me like this.
I thought it was yours the whole time.
Hell no.
I did too.
I'm a professional.
Oh yeah, okay.
How has technology been like understanding it?
I was kind of tripping on it at first. It was bothering me, and I mean it kind of still does. I'm still learning, but I also know that like that shit is here to. It's not here to hinder me. It's here to help me. Like, technically speaking, you dumbed it down by the use of the telephone. Like, you can do anything. You know what I mean? And so, like,
no, but I think what he was saying is like how did it feel as going in there in early 2001, and your only form of communication was pen and and then as of late now you can FaceTime, you can visit with someone on a tablet, like you know what I mean, like how he's just saying like how was that transition to you being in there so long and seeing that progression?
Because I think about because I had a girlfriend that was locked up, right? And so I'd let her, and the anticipation of getting that letter 3 days later.
What was his name?
Yeah, what was that?
Her name was Paula. She was a Brazilian. She's the past baby. 'Cause I know you're watching this episode.
My bad.
But the anticipation was like, oh, I'm about to get a letter 3 days later, right? But does that anticipation leave now that there's, I guess, easier communication?
I don't like my phone. That shit is ringing and texting, and everybody talks shit to me because I don't be checking my phone. I be leaving my phone, man, just because it's a lot. Like, I'm used to this.
Yeah.
Like, the conversation straight across, like, that's comfortable for me because that's our,
he was trying to talk to a female at the bank, and he's like, well, people don't talk no more. I was like, nah, bro. He's like, I just try to walk up to her and like start a conversation, and she looked at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, yeah, people don't do that no more.
Yeah, if she's like, younger than 30, for sure.
If they don't know you, you know what I mean? Like, small talk, but like just walking up on somebody that you don't know, like, hey, what's your name? They're going to think you're suspicious, you know?
Yeah, look up my IG, that's what they'll say.
Yeah.
Look at my IG.
And then you got people that you're friends with on social media, and you see them in real life, and it's still a stranger. You know what I mean? You don't like say what up. You don't conversate, but you over here liking my posts and commenting. Like, that shit is weird.
It's different. People will talk to you in a different tone than what they text and what they post. Right? Mm-hmm. It's weird, man. It's really weird. You'll see it. You'll see it if you haven't already. You'll see it. Did you have any type of relationship while you were locked down?
Only with men.
Yeah, guys only. No. No, I mean, you know, man, you do what you do to pass the time or whatever. I mean, it's hard doing that time to find somebody that's legitimately can handle that situation. I mean, that's not easy, man. I mean, just a long distance relationship out here is shitty. So you can imagine in there,
I used to like think about the pen pals though.
Oh man, I like the phone. Gee, I like my house was by the phone, and like the last couple months before I left, like I could go to my house any day and just listen to somebody cussing their girl out, and it sounds super funny. Or you can tell their girl's cussing them out, checking on them, and you see them getting hung up on. But I don't do that game. Sitting on the phone arguing and yelling.
Dudes are the most annoying. Get on the phone and want to start yelling at their girl like, man, like shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Man. Like, she's over here paying $3.59 to listen to you run your mouth. Like, shut up.
Yeah, it's too much. I think about the, you know, we talked about the politics and whatnot, but was there really was there like, we think about guys, what they call them, chomos. We think about guys that touch kids and women. Are they rolled out instantly? Is that a thing?
Yeah. They don't get to stay long. If they do, it's just until somebody finds out. But yeah, they're checking you at the door. If your shit don't check out or you don't have it, then they're gonna start investigating.
And when you say that, that's the paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning earlier when I said they have certain part of the prison like Wasatch and Oakers and Olympus, but then they have certain like a whole section dedicated to SOs that are, you know, sex offenders, and because they don't really function with the rest of the prison, you know.
Understandably. Some of the, I'm thinking
you still got dudes though to try to slide in there though.
Yeah, there's a few that you know, like a younger cat that you wouldn't think is, you know, he's just cool. He's like, oh, I'm here for robbery, but really he's a little, you know, statutory or something, you know.
But you have figure, right? Because you're gonna be like, yo, let me see your paperwork, right? Is that a thing? Does people actually check their paperwork?
Definitely checking paperwork, but sometimes there's just like a cool little, you know, it's like this motherfucker's cool, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. They just skate through because they seem cool, and they're just cool and friendly with everyone, and no one really press them about their paperwork, and then they get out and everyone's like, oh, you didn't know him? He's a sex offender.
Politics.
Who I was gonna say, who determines a disciplinary?
Politicians.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you think that there's something that's being missed within the guys that are locked up, that maybe a program or something that could really benefit those guys, whether if it's being reintroduced to the world, helping guys with mental health, with anxiety, depression, these type of things, or are there already programs set in place for guys that do want it?
I'm gonna answer for him just because he's so fresh out that I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
But me being out next month, March 4th, I'll be out 10 years. So,
hey,
you know, and I feel like the state should be paying me. Like, I'm a halfway house, man. I'm be rehabilitated. It's like my fifth parolee. You know, I like help them get on their feet and then get out. You know, get established and. Just show them there's more to life than what we were used to, and it's easy, you know. It's the way I look at it. It's hard to go to prison. Like, you really got to make some poor choices to go to prison. It's easy to be free. It's easy, you know. Like, it's not hard to move around and be free. It's hard to get yourself in a situation that leads to prison. You got to make bad choice after bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. But for your question, as far as like programming, there's so much programming in there, man. I took advantage of all of it, and just because I was bored, you know, like I want to do shit. I don't want to just sit in the section and slap spades. Like I just want to get a move. I want to move. So if it means I got to go to church or a Bible study or parenting or domestic violence or anger management, like, as long as I can pick up where I'm at in the section and walk down the hill to a class, like, I want to do that. So they offer a lot of programming, but I feel like they could offer more, like what you were saying, to reintroduce them, because earlier Marty was saying that, like, he felt like he was dying, and I wanted to elaborate, like, clarify what he was saying is he was feeling anxiety just from being out. because obviously he was 18 years old. Now he's almost 42 years old. He spent more time incarcerated than on the street. So like you said, like, man, I remember being in 8th grade when 9/11 happened, and then going to junior high and like seeing that, like, this man was already in prison. To be in there that whole time to now, like, I feel like they need more of a, almost like a halfway house in prison before you get out, you know, because it's such a shock from like being in there to coming out, and like,
For sure.
you just gotta feel like they just let you out and you've been in there this long, and now it's like, well, figure out transportation, figure out a job, figure out how to feed yourself, figure out how to clothe yourself, rent, like, on top of being a felon with a background, like, go find a house, you know what I mean? It's like, luckily I have support from my family, and like, but Marty, you know, his family is in Illinois, like, he doesn't really have family out here. His brother's in DC. So like, there's people like him that get out and they literally have nothing.
We got to think too, those guys that do 23 years, we just lived through a whole pandemic. There's a lot of people that didn't survive that pandemic. You know what I mean? So people die between then. So even if you had support while you're locked in, some of the people might have died during that time. So who are you going to fall back on? Who's going to help support you? Who's going to help just understand and reacclimate you to the world? I feel like there's something there, and it should be done. How does it get done? You know what I mean? Is there funding from the state that can help make this thing happen? Do they want it to happen? Is there more of a politic thing to keep guys inside for a money thing? You know what I mean? Like, it frustrates me hearing so many incarceration stories and seeing guys go in, because at the end of the day, I feel like they're a paycheck for somebody else, keeping them inside, right? Because if we didn't have guys in there, or the amount of guys in there, that means, okay, maybe 1 or 2 less correctional officers inside, right? Those are jobs, right? So it's really weird. It baffles me, but I don't know the answer.
Yeah, it's definitely a business, but I feel like as of late, the Board of Pardons has switched their view on sentencing, and they've lightened up a lot. And like, you know, he already had a sentence a long time ago, so he knew for years how long he had to do. But as far as, I have a lot of other friends that are in there and they've been waiting there, they don't, like he said, indeterminate sentencing. They don't know when they're getting out. You might go to the Board of Pardons in 2012 and they're like, come back in 2024. We don't know. Like, it's called a rehearing, you know. So you basically got a 12-year sentence, but you don't even know. It's not a guaranteed if you're going to get released. That's just saying, wait here for 12 years before you come back and see us again, and then maybe we'll give you a release date at that time. But I just feel like as of late, they're giving a lot of people love, and like, they're starting to see that, hey, these dudes have been warehoused. They've been up in here for decades. Like, we got to give them a chance at freedom and let them, you know, give them enough rope, so to speak, to hang themselves. And if they mess up and they come back, then you probably ain't gonna get a chance. But if you get out and you can, you know.
I spent a lot of time in there thinking about that too, like criminal justice system and what works and what doesn't. And if I'm gonna be fair, man, I mean, shit is just people smarter than us haven't figured it out yet. You know what I mean? So I don't want to just blame everything in one spot, but I think out of prison, before prison, the youth, kids, school, I think that's probably the best way to nip it in the bud, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we're growing up in underprivileged areas and stuff like that, and you can say what you want. I mean, there's a lot of people in those areas that are good citizens, never committed a crime or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But then there's the other side that's struggling with their lives, respectively, in whatever aspect that is. And, you know, put an animal in the corner, is going to fight his way out. It's going to do whatever it can do to get out of that situation.
What advice would you give a kid that is going down the path of leading them to 23 years in prison? Maybe not even a kid, just somebody out here living.
No, that's a good question, man. I don't think there is any blanket thing like you put me under the gun. I feel I got to say something special. But if you got friends, man, just know who they are. Understand. Like my grandma used to tell me all the time, man, like, you know what? You think these people are your friends, you're going to find out who your friends are when you go to prison. And she told me that shit so many times. And then when I was sitting there in prison, there was many a time over the course of 20-some years as I would just sit and just go through this Rolodex of cats that I've met, you know what I mean, and had gone and had come back, some of them 4 or 5 times. And not one of them times did they mess with me when they're out. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say, man. Just be around positive people.
For me, I would say to play the tape through. You know, I was always bad on just impulse and like just wanted to be somebody that was ready to react and like, you know, no hesitation. Like I wanted my homies to know when it came to me, like it's a go, you know, like if something pops off, I'm the first one swinging. I'm the first, you know, I'm going after, I'm the first, I'm the main one. I'm the one, you know, front of the line. And I never would think about, I would always be like a delayed reaction. I'm like, oh, damn, you know, now I'm in the back of a cop car. Like, damn, that was stupid. Like, I could have, you know what I mean? I be in the position I held, I could have swayed the whole decision, you know? I would always tell people, be careful, because whatever I do, my boys is going to do. If I start swinging, everyone that's with me is going to start swinging. No questions asked. Like, I don't got to tell them, it's go time. They're going to do exactly what I do. If I keep it peaceful, they're going to keep it peaceful. Mm. So what my best advice for somebody that's in the streets or in the gang or in the game, whatever, is think about, play it out. Don't just think about what's going to happen right now, or I'm trying to look this way, or I'm the man. You ain't gonna, you know, you're not gonna disrespect me. You're not gonna. I'm gonna show you that I'm alpha. But in doing that, I shut myself. You know, I never played it through. I was a quick to react. And if I had sat down and paused for a second and thought about, like, well, damn, if I take off on this fool and then all my homies are going to take off and, you know, like, what's going to happen? But if I just, like, keep it cool, we can all just leave and go home, you know? Yeah. I never thought of the play it out past right then in the moment. And that would have saved me so much heartache if I'd have just thought for a second, like, what if I do this is going to lead to that. If I do this is going to lead to that, you know. Just stop and think for a second.
There's moments where we have to make those quick, 2-second decisions, right? And we still continue. Even though you guys are out here, we still have those choices today. And I think the cool thing about it is, especially you, Kent, is that you still have that influence now. You know, if you say, hey, we're doing a charity event and I need everybody to come out, people are going to show up. You know what I mean? I've told you this since the day we met, that you are a star. You have influence. You just got to be wisely on how you use that influence.
Yes, sir.
It's 100%.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
I really appreciate this conversation so much, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the food. You said that state food wasn't good, but did it get better in the pen?
It got worse. Over the course of time, it got worse, homie. It fell off. There was so much cool shit that we used to be able to eat that we don't get no more.
No.
There used to be some real food. Now, like, everything you get is processed or out of can. There's nothing fresh no more.
Not much different out here.
And everything in there,
got a lot of selection out here.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything there is turkey based. So it's like, even if it's chicken tenders, it's like, those is turkey based. If it's cheeseburger day, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that like a religious thing?
I don't know, because the Muslims and the Jewish people, they get their own special tray. So I don't know what it is, but
kosher. Did you ever say you were kosher?
No, I thought about it, but I'm too hungry for that shit.
Did you find religion while you were in there?
Nah, I mean, I've always believed in God. You know what I'm saying? We got our own relationship. I'm not the greatest Christian on the planet at all, but I'm a believer, man. I know there's some shit I gotta answer to. You know what I mean? But I know there's also good stuff that I've done. You know, I'm trying to be a better person. I don't know how that's going. It's baby steps, but
I think telling this story is a huge step, because somebody's listening to this right now that either has somebody that's locked up, maybe they haven't wrote in months. That's like, hey, maybe I should write them.
Man, I hope so, man, because loneliness is a powerful force, man. It's just like they say, you could be in a room, you know what I'm saying, full of people and still be by yourself. Everybody in there is dealing with their own issues, you know what I'm saying? And one of the main things that they deal with is worrying about what's going on out there. So just having that little line, that little open line of communication, you know, you ain't got to talk to them every day or write them every day or write them 10-page letters, but you get that mail and you open it and it's a picture of your family or your homies or whatever, like having a good time. Like that feels great. It does something for you. It does do something positive, even though you're not a part of it. You still are, because like these people are thinking about you. You know, so
did you guys in there? Obviously, safety is a huge priority, right? Making sure that you're straight. Did you notice that there was a lot of like contraband, like people needing to carry a shank and things like that?
It's prison. Hell yeah, it's prison.
Yeah,
I had mine. You know what I mean? When
Allegedly.
I was too, allegedly, yeah. PO.
I was always like, no, shank you. we could throw them things, but I don't want nothing to do with no knives.
How violent did it get inside? And maybe not even inmate to inmate, but correctional officer, inmate. Was there any riots? Was there any protests? Because that was something that my brother told me about, is that they had hunger strikes.
We did that, but yeah, no.
COVID was a fucked up time for inmates, man. Like they don't get there should be more like documentaries and shit. Like they fucking did these guys wrong, man. They had them locked down for weeks.
Shit.
Shut down commissary, shut down the kitchen. They was eating sack lunches like 3 times for every meal. Like no hot food, just straight bologna and bullshit, peanut butter and jelly. Like, you know, and it's like, it's fucked up. You go to prison, if for most people, they deserve to be in prison. So you made your bed, you lay in it. But, you know, you're used to a way of things, and then for them to do that, man, then taking phone calls away and contact visits, and man, that's the only thing we ever live for when we're in prison, is to be able to see a visit, like I get a visit from a loved one or get a picture or a phone call. You know, if they take that away, then the whole morale of the prison just goes down, and people are just like, you know, I personally would be like, I stopped myself several times from fighting because I knew I had a visit coming. And even homies would like clown me, like, you're soft. I'm like, shit, my girl coming. Like, out here and fight with you, fool, or go down there and drink a soda and, you know.
Yeah, have a good visit.
Yeah.
Take me through the pandemic. When did it hit the prison? When did you guys hear about it, and how was it?
It's probably like a couple of week lag, I guess, from when the shit touched down to be this big thing to where it's like, all right, now we're going to have to do something with these dudes. But it was dumb. Like, I'd be in the house with you. They test everybody for COVID. You got COVID. Half the other section got COVID. They leave all them in the section, and you don't have COVID. So they roll me up and take me over here with all the other dudes that don't have COVID. I'm just in the house with this dude that just had my celly, just had COVID. Just because I don't have it right now don't mean I'm not going to show up tomorrow. I go take it and get all these cats sick. She basically locked the whole prison down for no reason, basically. Like, by the time that shit was done, I think they said it was 90-something% of the joint had caught it and had it before. You know what I mean?
One thing out here, it almost felt like a death sentence. If you had COVID, you were going to die. Your respiratory was gonna go. What was your guys' understanding?
You thought you was gonna die. Yeah, you was worried. Nigga had
low key
3 masks on.
You know what's funny though is that my son, the way that we found out about COVID, my son had strep throat, and so we went and got the little fucking nose test, and my son came back negative for COVID. He came positive for strep throat. I came positive for COVID with no symptoms.
That's how I was. Like, they told me I had it, and I was like, I feel fine.
But I felt like I was gonna die though. I was like, nah, it's gonna hit me. I'm gonna die.
I heard they was offering early time cuts for people taking the vaccine.
That was
in different states and shit. I'm like, if that's not a red flag, I don't know. You know, take this vaccine, you can get out early. Like, of course we're gonna take it.
Now, we're an hour and 15 minutes in. I want to keep on going. I got to use the bathroom real quick. Do you mind?
Yeah.
Are you sick of podcasts that just interview people with the same questions and gossiping nonsense?
Are you tired of hearing about what's wrong with the world? Can you locate your nearest orphanage?
Who cooked the Last Supper?
R.I.P. Mr. Potato Head.
Seppuku Harakiri.
Where is Mavis Beacon?
This is Hos.
And this is host Beefy.
Listen to the Beans and Rice podcast.
Exclusively in Braille and all streaming platforms.
Patent pending.
Hey, yo, you're probably listening to the Unrestricted Podcast with Dre Rocca. We are? No, they are. Yeah, oh, right.
Oh, wow. And I'm the real Ruby. You can catch me and Fonzie and G Daddy Funk on Lake Talk 801 Podcast.
Yeah, but I think you have to come in more smoother, more funnier. Like, yeah, they could catch us on the Lake Talk 801 podcast.
Yeah, y'all can catch us on Lake Talk 801.
Yeah, and be like, and yeah, man, hey, and they could catch people like me, the real Ruby, and people like you, Fonzie, and people like him, G Daddy Funk,
wow, that's
on
a
the
lot
Lake
of
Talk
people.
801. Who cares?
What did he say?
Huh?
I didn't hear him.
I don't know, but this probably should be the ad.
Are these on?
Catch a new episode every Monday on all streaming platforms. The Lake Talk 801. Tune in now.
I mentioned to you that I thought I was dying. Was it? And I feel like that was kind of like the overall thought. Like, if you touch somebody that has it, you're going to die. What was the thought of the guys inside?
I wasn't scared of it, dog, me personally. But I wasn't scared of it. But there was a lot of dudes in there that were tripping. There was dudes that didn't want to get the vaccine, and then there was dudes that was worried about taking it. But it's like, if I don't take it, my back against the wall. They're gonna leave me in this house. And
didn't they? To clarify, didn't all you guys get the vaccine basically?
Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, like they can't make you take it, but what they can do is make life uncomfortable for you. To where, like, all right, everybody over here is good, man. You couple of cats are the only holdouts. So we'll just leave your door closed and let the rest of the prison out. Then we don't got to worry about you getting sick and suing us or anything like that. Like, that was their standpoint. But realistically,
and that wasn't even in prison. That was just in society. Like, my boy works for. I'm not gonna say the name.
Yeah, don't say the name.
For the university, a local, like a medical, the university, and he was one of the last people because he's just like, I'm a healthy young man in my early 30s. Like, I just don't want the vaccine.
Yeah.
And then he said they were like doing the same thing. He was like, well, everyone that's vaccine, like, help yourself over here. We got bagels and everything. And then, if you're not vaccine, it's like, go over there. And it was like night and day. Like, you get shit on over here, put your mask on, stay over there, don't talk to no one. But if you've been vaccinated, then like, welcome over here is like, here you guys go. Like, here's the VIP lounge,
Yep.
So they basically forced everyone's hand in the medical field to get it.
Yeah,
very decisive.
It got to the point, dog, where we were locked down, and me and my cellie, like, I'm like, gee, I'm starting to see the writing on the wall. Like, we ain't had the vaccine or COVID yet, dog. We're in the house. Like, the whole prison is out. Like, there's probably like 20% of us. And so I called one of the cats over. I was like, hey, come here, man. He's like, what's up? You got COVID? He said, yes. Let me see your hand towel real quick. Grabbed the sneeze hand towel, washed my hands, wiped my face with it, gave myself COVID. My son was like, what are you doing? And I was like, gee, I'm not trying to stay here. Like, look how long they've been doing this. Like, gee, because we didn't want to catch it.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't scared of it, but he's like, gee, don't catch it, homie. Just stay here with me. I'm like, dog, I don't have a choice. Like, if I catch it, I'm going to catch it. But so finally we were sitting there. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, shit. Threw him the rag. I was like, let's go. So then next day they test me. We got COVID, me and him. We're rolling up. We're like, all right, fellas, we'll see you later. And everybody, all the other lockdowns, like, hey, dog, where you going? What happened? Oh, yeah, I gave myself COVID, dog. I'm not finna sit here all day. You're tripping. They're like, you gave yourself COVID? How'd you do that? I was like, I grabbed a rag from somebody that had it. And it was some of the white boys, too. This is why it was funny. It tripped me out because they're like, well, so you got it, though. I said, yeah, I got it. And I had a fireball in my mouth. They're like, let me get that fireball. I was like, are you serious?
What's a fireball?
Piece of candy, nigga.
Like a fireball. Like a hard candy.
Fireball.
Like a hard candy.
Yeah. So I got
like
the
jawbreaker.
Yeah, I got the candy in my mouth. These cats asked me, can they have it? I'm like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. I'm like, here you go, dog. Shit, catch that shit and get up out of there, man. I'm out of here.
If that was a white boy, that's a violation.
Yeah, it is, right? That's a violation out here.
Yeah, he ate after me. I didn't eat after him.
That's funny. Okay, so there's a lot of presidencies since you've been. I think 3 in 20 years. I think it was 3 because George Bush did 2, Trump did one,
and
Obama did 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
What was the? Because a lot of these politicians, they run off of, hey, we're gonna be letting people out for less, drug crimes like marijuana and whatnot. What was the? Oh, my thing just came off. Sorry. What was the thought between the guys in there and presidencies? Are they like was politics talked about?
I feel like it hit the prison on more of a race basis, you know what I mean? It just was another thing to cause a little bit more division. You had that whole Proud Boy shit, all that situation, and you know what I mean, the social justice movement, all that stuff's going on, and then Obama gets in there at that time. And so a lot of people had a lot of negative opinions. There's a lot of people that have positive opinions, but everybody got an opinion. But I know when the election happened, like right before it happened, the last one with Biden and Trump, I did a little mock vote in the section, and it was I just didn't like the racist cats in the section. I kind of wanted to see what was happening. I was bored. But yeah, Biden won by a couple of votes. That was the little microcosm in the section. Only like 40 people.
I'd have been sent to max.
The reason why I was bringing up that question is because there was a lot of, you kind of touched on it, social injustice, right? Especially after George Floyd, after the video of George Floyd came out. Did you guys see that video of the officer kneeling on his neck?
Man.
Did you guys see that? What was the thoughts during that time and the whole uprising of Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, I probably watched it I think I seen the whole situation and watched it probably twice, and then I don't want to see that shit no more. But yeah, I don't know. I was angry, man, as a minority, you know what I mean? And particularly living in this state. And I mean, nobody is responsible for who they come out as and what color their skin is. You just appear. But yeah, I think it caused a lot more division, a little bit more tension, but not on the major basis. But that's how I felt it. I felt it from a racial standpoint, and maybe that's just me as a minority, but that was the majority of what I cared about in the situation. You know what I mean? Because I know politics, I know people. There's a lot of dirtbags, a lot of dirtbag politicians, a lot of dirtbag people. So I mean, when it was Obama, I wanted Obama to win.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's when I barely started getting into politics. I seen a black man run. I said, okay, well, maybe I can watch this now.
As a father now, I don't know if you feel this way, Kent, but as I get older with age and now I have kids, I feel like I need to pay a little bit more attention. I think I need to pay a little bit more attention, not only to who our president is, but who's our mayor, who's the governor, who's the city council members, right? Because a lot of them are deciding where this money goes, right? And if we can have a say so on where some of this money goes, maybe it is a plan for introductory from somebody that was incarcerated to make sure that they're a better citizen and making sure that they're straight. I think that's somebody that in my view, I think that's somebody I need to vote for.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like politics suck. I hate it. I think both sides suck. And unfortunately, there's no other options than if you're going to run with a party, you have to run independent, Republican, or Democrat.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like as I get older with age, I have to start paying more attention. But I'm not interested. I hate it.
I be telling cast to vote, and they all look at me like I'm crazy because I'm in the joint. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of, especially people that have done a little chunk of time, you start to have a real respect for your freedom, understanding of it, what it means. At least for me, it was one of those situations. I don't think I totally understood until I had it taken away from me. Damn, I wish I had that back. And I realized I took that freedom for granted, even though that's given to every citizen out here, but it's also yours to lose, and I made bad decisions. But so I don't know. That's just some of the stuff I thought about.
Do you think that isolation in prison is that too much? Should they get rid of that? Or do you think it's needed? When they say you're going to the shoe or you're going to the hole, this is the kind of the lingos I always hear. Do you think that they should get rid of that?
I think so. I don't think there's any benefit for it necessarily. I mean, I understand from their standpoint that, you know, they got to have their system, you know, of dealing with things. But yeah, I don't believe the isolation helps. I mean, I'm sure you've seen some things on it, like drives people crazy, dog.
Yeah.
Like it makes dudes different. That's one thing in prison too. I think probably in life maybe too, but I know in prison I noticed it a lot. You don't see a dude for maybe like 2 years or something. And then you see the dude again, and you're just like, what the hell is wrong with this cat? Like, he is completely different than the last time I met him. Like, he's gone.
Not to compare it to, but we did see it with the pandemic. We were isolated, you know, to the point where they told me I had it. I had to isolate in my own room for 7 days during that time, away from my kids. They're in the other room, but they told me I couldn't be around them. That's what the CDC told me, right? So not to compare it to, because I know it was a lot worse inside, but it does make you feel like there's a lot, man, because I have my babies crying. I have a newborn. Wifey has 2 other kids. She's going, you know, she's having a mental breakdown, and I can't do something because I was told if I go in there, I'm putting my family at risk of dying. It's a lot, man.
Hell yeah. Prison or no, that's a lot of weight to have on you, even if it's just for a temporary situation, you know. I definitely got a thorough understanding and feel what it's like to have overwhelming anxiety. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. Like coming out, dog, I knew that things were gonna be hard. I knew that, but how it was and how it hit me from what I thought was 2 different animals. Like, I didn't realize that it could be that deep and that powerful a situation. My dog seen me going through it, you know what I mean, and still dealing with it, you know what I mean. I definitely am I don't want to say like I'm a champion or anything, but I definitely suggested anybody with any mental health situations, man, like stay on top of your shit. That's one thing I like about nowadays that they are doing that's positive, that changes. There's a lot of emphasis on that. And coming from a person that deals with those struggles, I think a lot of people from underprivileged backgrounds, you know what I mean, they got a lot of PTSD and other things that they don't even know they have. And as they're dealing with the issue, like I said, like I thought I was fine. And then 2 weeks I've been out. I've been just great. And then all of a sudden, sweating profusely. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like people was talking about me and all sorts of stuff. And I was just like, oh my God. And I was embarrassed, man. I was embarrassed that I felt like I was weak. I felt like people expected me to be the guy. And like my dog right here, my friends, the people that know me, you know what I mean? I was like, man, am I acting different? Am I strange? Like, I know these guys can tell that something's going on with me, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to act like it's not happening, you know? So it definitely was tough, man. And I've been telling all my boys that have done a significant amount of time. I mean, you know, obviously it's going to be different for every person, but that amount of time, like even being in your section with 63 other dudes in the section is still being isolated from the rest of the world. So when you're introduced to that, it's a shock. Like, whoa, I do not feel comfortable. I don't know what to do, and I'm struggling. So, I mean, you know, man, and I'm not even looking at it a bad thing. Initially I was, but it was a humbling experience, you know what I mean? And I'm glad that it happened to me personally, just because I know that it's like, all right, man, you need to get your shit right. Get it together. You was a little bit cocky, you know what I mean? You're finally getting out after all this time, but it's like, you got to take care of business at the house first. You got to take care of your head upstairs, make sure you're right, you're good, before you move on to the next step, you know what I mean? And I'm not under any pressure either. Like, I got a good place to stay. I'm living with my family, you know what I mean, what I consider family. And so I can only think like what it would be like to get out and not have no one. Oh, you're going to the halfway house. You don't have a ride over here. You know what I'm saying? You don't have this. You don't have that. Like, you got to worry about every single thing that you have. It was a lot, man.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot to be thankful for too, right?
No, for sure.
That you're on this side of things and you're out. When you're telling me that story and everything, I'm thinking, thank goodness he's out at a time where mental health is accepted. Because if you were released in the 80s or the 90s, hey, they'll call you the F word and be like, get tough, right? But now it's like, dog, like we accept mental health. We accept these challenges, you know, being a new father, there's anticipations that you're about to experience as a new father, you know. There's things that I've went through where it's like, man, like I get shaky just thinking about the world and having anxiety that I'm not with my family right now, you know. Like there's a lot of things that we go through, but it's accepted to talk about it now. And it's only going to help the next person. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate you, you know, saying that and feeling that.
Yeah, already, man. I just, like I said, I'm just hopefully somebody will hear it and prepare themselves a little bit better, because it's a real situation. I think I kind of used to have a little bit of the mindset, like you said, like the old school shit, like toughen up. And then I felt it, and I was thinking to myself, like, that's why it was so humbling, because I've talked shit about dudes getting out and not handling their business or doing certain things, you know what I mean, what I felt was the wrong way. And then I got this whole idea in my head, and I get out and I can't cope. I'm struggling, you know what I mean? I don't know what to do. I'm having problems with the simplest things. So I just, you know what I mean, asked that if anybody does have a problem, man, go get some help. Like if you don't want to go get help, chop it up with somebody that you're comfortable with, man. Like it's cool. You know, let that shit out, get some advice, and move past it. You know what I mean? If you can, if you're not, get the cure that you need and be consistent with it.
When did you find out that you were coming home?
I had my date for 15 years, man.
So you knew for sure.
A while.
I mean, obviously, unless you mess up.
You know, and I was doing a lot of that, so I was shook up a little bit at times.
Or the possibility of maybe an early release if you know, based on good behavior.
Was there any hope for that? Was there any like anticipation? Maybe you hear something in the government where it's like, hey, we might be releasing blah blah blah.
Well, like Kent said, man, they did the JRI guidelines. They made some new laws, and they changed things. The whole board is different now. But my sentencing was way back, so I had to go back and talk to those people again. And when my chance came up, I had messed that up for myself. So
you get you know your date. You're getting closer to your date. What's the feeling like? Or is there anybody trying to change that for you? Because this is something that I've heard about too.
Yeah.
Where not homeboys, but ops will try to, homeboy getting out? Nah, I remember 3 years ago he did something to me. I'm going to try to mess it up for him. Did you have any of those type of oppositions?
To be honest with you, I really don't know. I mean, you know, people are always, we were just talking about this in the car, man. Like you could be talking, that's why like the politics is funny, because it's just the same. Like a dude will tell you one thing in your face, and all of a sudden some weird shit happens, and the cops know all the inner goings on of specific situations that you just had. And it's like, damn, dog, it's like me, you, and one other cat that know, like, what the hell? There's a lot of that going on. And I don't know. But the majority of dudes that get caught for shit in there is just because they're being stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, but people definitely, we call it short timing. I'm more irritable, but right before I got out, I almost got into an altercation with my ops, and it was like I didn't feel like it was personal, but I'm like, man, you motherfuckers want to wait. I've been in this motherfucker 6 years, and ain't nothing. And then now I'm about to be home in 60 days, and you guys want to test. I'm like I was in there with Marty and a couple of our other close friends, and I was just like, hey man, if I go, I'm going. Like, if it's risking me going home to my family, like, I'm thinking about trying to take your life, like, you fucking with my time, I'm fucking with your life.
Yeah. I mean, it's equivalent, right? It's the same equivalent. So you got your date. Take me through the day of your release.
It was weird, man, but I kind of liked that it happened the way that it did. You know what I mean? But you wake up early in the morning, like 4 o'clock, get on your little bus, you ride down there and shit, and you go through your little the little release process. And it was funny, dog, because like they're moving us from door to door. It's like, step in this door. Okay, name, Bing, check you off, do something there. Okay, now get out of there and stand in that door. So we go in that door, and the whole time I'm sitting here thinking like, why am I letting these motherfuckers put me in the house? Like, I'm going home. Mm-hmm. So I step out the cell, I say, hey man, where's the bathroom at? He goes down that way. I'm like, damn, I'm really free. Like this dude is gonna let me go walk to this bathroom right now. He ain't tripping. Like I'm walking right past these people. None of these guys here are cops. Like they're all people that, work in some capacity. I mean, for the release process, but they're not cops. And I was like, damn, I'm really free right now. Like right now, I'm about to go home. But then the flight was canceled. Everybody left. It was me and one other dude. Finally, I was like, gee, I'm about to call my homeboy. Gee, I don't know what you're going to do. I asked him if I can give you a ride. Gave him the clothes off my back because I thought he was going to have to stay. And I called this cat and was like, you got to come get me, G. So he pulls up, and right when we're having our little reunion, chopping it up, taking some pictures and shit. And then my brother got off his flight, pulled right over in the parking lot. And it was a good day, man. It was, I don't even know what to say, but I guess kind of like the weird shit and the lateness of it in a way kind of almost made it better.
So you're out. It's cold outside during that time?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Nah.
Should have seen my outfit, though. Should have seen my outfit I had on.
Yeah, what'd you have on?
I had on some golf pants and some checkered.
It was like pajama pants.
Yeah.
Because it was just stuff they gave them.
I was going to ask if it was government.
They wouldn't allow you to, like, even if your family brought you clothes, they're not. They're like, no, we got, like, volunteer clothes,
Did you get any of your personal belongings from when you were 8? Did you keep anything that whole time?
I didn't even ask. I wonder if they do have some of my shit. I should go get it.
I always wonder. I always think about that as like, because usually they'll give you allegedly, right? They'll give you what you went in there with. I'm thinking, what did 18-year-old you have in your pocket?
No, when you get sent to prison, they send all you got 30 days to send your shit. You can either mail it home or someone can pick it up. If not, they donate it. They're not about to hold that shit for 23 years.
So you're out. Your brother makes his flight. Obviously, Kent's there. What's the first meal? Do you have?
I went and had some steak, dog. I can't even remember where it was at, but it was nice though.
Yeah, the steak.
Yeah. These guys were clowning me, man, for like I'm still weird. I know I still act weird, but I wouldn't even talk to the people or order my own shit. They'd be like, "What you want?" I'm like, "Just give me something that's good." Like I just didn't want to have no interactions with them. But that's how I was the first day. I had the menu, and I was trying to look, but the lady pulled up all quick, so I was, you know what I mean, little anxiety moment. I was like, "Yeah, just pick something good for me." He's like, "You want steak?" Hell yeah. So I smashed some steak first day. They were laughing at me for eating my vegetables. I ate them too, some green beans. Yeah. It was fire though.
Do you feel, obviously you're still getting acclimated with the world, and do you feel like the world puts pressure on you to get acclimated like quick, or do you feel like you have time to figure this thing out?
I know I got time. I mean, like nobody's rushed me. That's why I say, man, I'm lucky for the support that I got. Like, and then that's why I had to realize I had to take a step back and be like, hey, man, like I know I have this feeling and I know it's overwhelming, but it's not, you know what I mean, indicative of what the real situation is. Like I'm good. I have a safety support system. I'm straight. So, I mean, but things are different. You know what I mean? I know I'm different. I'm gonna always be different. Quiet as kept, though, he's gonna always be different. I mean, when you're just from a different walk of life, you're just different. You know what I mean? You know him different than a lot of people. Yeah.
What's your thought on him changing his life and going this professional route into MMA?
I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. I mean, not even just besides all that. I mean, you know, I look at him as a man. Yeah, my dog's tough or whatever, and he can fight, but he's a stand-up individual. You know what I mean? He's an honorable person. And I think that's one of the things that gets lost in there. It becomes like, who's the toughest? And some of these dudes are sex offenders. They're lames, they're rats, but just because they're tough and you can't whoop them, you want to let them stay around type shit. But I like to think that, you know what I mean, my boys, my friends and individuals that I hang out, that I keep in my vicinity are honorable individuals. They got values and morals, and they feel strong about them. And that's what I like about him, you know what I mean? Shit, we were kicking it with the same people. He missed me by a couple of days. I got shipped to the joint, man. We were kicking it in the same circle.
Oh,
he was just late.
Know, all my older homies, he was hanging out with them, and I just barely missed them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was living in Vernal,
Yeah.
And then I moved to Salt Lake in 01. And it just
missed.
Yeah. But then
I
he
was
came
looking
to the
for him
joint.
too when we made it to prison. I was like, I'm gonna find the Marty. And I heard stories about him. So
what do they do with the high profile cases in there?
usually high profile goes to max for a good 5, 6, 7 years, just depending on how serious the case is. They try to get you away. They lock you up in max and throw away the key, and then they bring you out 8 or 10 years later to where people forgot about it type of shit. Or they continue to do, their level will come up to where they know they can go to general population, and they'll self-sabotage. They'll do some shit to where they don't get their level dropped because they want to stay in max. They don't want to come to population because you got to live by rules and regulations in population, and max they kind of renegade and do their own thing, cell by cell, because you only get out an hour a day, if that. Population you're out all day long, so it's kind of like you got to fall in line.
You want to be in Gen Pop though, right?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
You got to go to church. You get vocational. You get the, like I did all the programming I could. I took advantage of like AutoCAD and learning how to read blueprints and make blueprints and automotive and culinary arts and every fucking thing I could do. I would, just like I was telling you, so I could get out of the section, out of the norm of just being in here, slapping spades, playing bones, working out. It's like, nah, I gotta get my mind up out of here to, to something bigger, broaden my horizon type of shit.
Damn, man, it's this is just fascinating to me that you have another chance at life, man. A lot of people don't. Man. So I'm proud that you're taking advantage of it. You got somebody in your corner that's riding for you, and a stand up dude, like you said. And any word on the fight, Kent?
Yeah, April 20th. I just signed. I signed and sent back to Zach today. April 20th at Utah UVU. So in Orem.
You got the wish, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it.
Yeah, I gotta get that back for my own peace of mind,
We're not saying who yet, right? I don't think they've announced it yet, so probably don't say it.
It's a dead man walking.
Roundstone still hasn't said nothing, so
Roundstone don't want the smoke, man. I'm like, I be Facebook stalking him, like, let's run it, and he's just laughing at my comments. Like, I'll come to Montana and beat that ass.
Oh man, Montana's too cold. I told Zach, I said, because I posted the video of you calling them out. But before then, I hit up Zach. I was like, hey, is this appropriate? Can I do this? You have any problem with me posting this? And he was like, no. Let's see if Roundstone takes it. See if he does it. But he hasn't. So he knows.
I'd be hoping people take the bait, and then they're like, no.
How do you think that would, I don't know, it probably wouldn't even be possible to have organized sports inside the joint. Maybe not even combat sports, but sports in general. Do you think that would work?
I think it would. Didn't Hopkins start boxing in prison? I'm pretty sure Bernard Hopkins started boxing in prison.
In the United States?
Yeah.
Really?
In the South somewhere. Oh. They had a program, and they actually allowed him to fight. He was so good in prison, he went around to the other prisons that were doing the boxing program and was just on a tear. Then they brought in someone from like the street, and he beat them. Dang. So that's how he kind of got his into boxing, like straight paroled into like.
Did he bring that back?
Yeah, making big money. I'm like, hell yeah. Is
there some talented guys in there?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, the athleticism and like, I be telling dudes how like this one homie in there, he dunked on this dude that his nickname's 6'9" because he's 6'9". Yeah, and Jay Hustle dunked on him, and he's like, "Oh, I dunk on 7-footers." I was like, "That's so tight."
Did you ever hoop?
Yeah, I'm a free throw champion, man. Telling these fools, don't foul me, bro. I'm cold at the line. I'm ice cold.
Were you an athlete?
Yeah, we was in there winning championships, baby.
Yeah, matter of fact, me and him in Gunnison, we won the basketball championship that year. It was 2012.
Yeah.
They was so mad too because like all the homies that were really super athletic, they wanted to put a team together. Oh yeah, it was this fool. They like recruited him like, play with us, Marty. We're the all-stars. And then I was like, nah, I'm gonna play with the homies, like, you know, like the replacements. Like, we football players, but we gonna play basketball. Yeah. And then we ended up winning. We ended up beating the all-stars, and they were salty about it. But
everybody over 6 foot.
I was hitting them free throws on them. Like, yeah.
How tall are you, Marty? Like 6'2"?
6'1".
6'1"?
Yeah.
You're what, 6'3"? 6'4"?
Yeah, I'm taller when I lay down, though.
All right, man. Let's jump into a segment called Questions. Now, Questions is powered by the good folks over at a bar named Sue. You can catch live events like UFC pay-per-views. And you can actually catch me at the UFC 299 Saturday, March 9th at a bar named Sue, 8136 South State Street. Find out more at abarnamedSue.com. Now, first question comes in from Fonzie in Salt Lake City. He just said, I wonder if heaven got a ghetto. Tupac reference. Do you guys believe that? Do you guys believe that heaven got a ghetto? You think that heaven got a place for all of us?
I think heaven got to everything. Whatever you wildest imagination, you know.
The missionaries ever get you, Marty?
I'm always cool with them, man, because you know, regardless of whether I agree with their shit or not, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of those people are good people, you know what I'm saying, and they do help a lot of cats out. So I'm always respectful to the missionaries and try to be cool with them. So I don't mess with the church clergy, man. You got to respect them when they're coming through there, whether they're handing out bean pies, you know what I mean, the Jehovah's Witness, whoever it is, you got to be cool with them.
Yeah, wifey, I had to tell her, like, be respectful, because wifey be going off on missionaries. She's like, we live in a condo. There's no soliciting on the door. Ain't nobody supposed to be in our building. I'm like, yeah, I get it. She's like, but at the same time, I'm like, make sure you're like safe, because these dudes knocking on the door, they came around at a certain time and kind of looked like they were marking out the place. You know what I mean? So, but I agree with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Fonzie, I think there is a a ghetto in the heaven. All right. Rui Felipe Medeiros in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Shout out to my boy Rui. How do you feel about the music being made these days? It's a great question, Marty, for you, because you came in, you know what I mean, this was right before 50 Cent. 2000 was, you know, shiny suits and Diddy. And now it's, you know, skinny jeans.
Well, I got Tekashi 6ix9ine on my playlist. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Whoa. We're talking about the other 6ix9ine.
No, it's different. I mean, I'm from Illinois, from the Midwest. I'm more into gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? So like, but there's still some cool shit. You know what I mean? Nowadays that comes out. Like, I'll slump whatever. I'll give anything a chance. But yeah, you know, like the Tekashis and whoever of the world, and they're still making money. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of salty about that, but you know, I think he got to live with himself and look at himself in the mirror every day. You know what I mean?
Who are you listening to inside? Were you listening to Common? I mean, you said gangster rap. Was it more?
Listening to a lot of T Grizzly, Dirk.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Got to give the Chi-Town cats some play for sure. But I'll listen to whatever, man. I'll give anything a shot. You know what I mean? For the most part.
How do you get music? Did they just download it for you, or?
Yeah, we had the fucking
like
MP3s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like unlimited songs, or was it what?
Nah, you can't even get them right now. They just barely took that away. So if you still got an old one, they let you keep it. But so now they don't even have a place to buy new music. But you know,
when I was in there, it was 10 CDs. You could have 10. I mean, obviously I had more. But,
yeah,
10 CDs.
What were those?
Shit, I had everything from Adele to like Bruno Mars to. I'd like to put on the music when I write a letter, so it just depends. Like I listen to R&B and we trade, you know. But yeah, I just whatever. I'm like he always says, tell me like, man, you into that country, aren't you, boy? Like
you hear that new Beyonce?
Nah, that's not country.
Oh, what are you talking about? That's the most country thing out right now.
Come on,
this ain't Texas. You don't hold them, and she's from Houston.
No, I'm not hating on her. I love Beyonce. My fiance loves Beyonce, so she'd be mad if I said anything negative on her. But to me, that's not country. You know, I'm like, I like blue, like the banjo, I like Tyler Childers, Zach Bryan.
You fuck with Mumford & Sons? I'll throw you.
Maybe if
some,
I heard it, but nah,
I'll throw you some Mumford & Sons.
That's some old shit.
Man.
Marty over here like, man, this ain't gangster.
I bought some Mumford and Sons for Noel's pops, nigga.
Oh, nice.
He's into that.
There you go. Yeah, man, I think today's music's cool. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. All right. Let's see. Wes Burke and Sugar House. Shout out to my man Wes Burke. Your least favorite 5 musical artists. Least favorite. I don't think
Tekashi 6ix9ine. We'll put him on there.
He's on the top.
Okay.
Least favorite. Oh shit, man.
Does the Shy? Do we still rock with R. Kelly?
Probably not, man. I don't know. I don't know. I know
It's so hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, like,
He did Step in the Name of Love,
yeah,
man.
for our like era, like, but you wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty shy too. You had to hit me with that. I'm on the spot, you know.
You wrong, brother. You can't do that.
Yeah. I honestly can't think of 5
Yeah, me
artists
either.
that I
Yeah.
don't like.
Because I don't entertain an artist I don't like, so it's
Yeah.
hard for me to be like, But yeah, Tekashi, I don't like. No offense, I don't really like Blueface. From the few songs I've heard of his, it's not really slapping to me. Yeah, man, I can't. Oh, the Island Boys, if they're considered rappers, I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't think they probably made like one song. I don't know.
And a couple female rappers, I don't like.
You don't like Ski Yee?
Yeah, I don't
She's just a wild chick. Yeah, I can't think of too many artists. The artists that I don't like, I just don't entertain.
Yeah, it's hard to.
I don't like YNW Melly. Sorry, folks, I just don't.
YNW Melly. Oh, he's fighting for his life right now too.
Yeah,
I seen him on there.
Yeah,
Court TV.
Put a fork in him. He's done.
You think he's done?
Yeah, he's done.
I got into your artist ass pause earlier. All my musical artists. I know a lot of Utah artists from country, rock to hip hop, majority hip hop. And I'm mad at them because they haven't been tapping in with the MMA guys. You guys walk out into a stadium where the song could be heard, and not one of them are fucking making the anthem for you guys.
My boy was just saying that you had him on here, the Pauly Cat from is it Rose Park? It's like the indie pop.
Who? Bobby B. Mac?
I think so.
Vanumu?
Yeah,
Samoan cats from Rose Park.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, why don't you come out to one of their songs, like a local cat that's already got a big following to help push each other, you know?
Be dope. But I honestly think these artists should work with you.
Yeah.
Right? It should be whatever you. The song's you. It's when Zeke comes out to Rita Marley, you feel it, right? You feel the Holy Spirit when he's coming in and he's throwing up T's. You know what I mean? It's like you feel it. That's how it should be when they're making a song for you. We need whatever Kent is wanting, whatever his mood is, whatever that feeling is that Kent wants when he walks out. The artist needs to make that song. Get with a dope producer, produce the record, and have it heard throughout a stadium.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
You're on notice. You got a month to get it done because he fights in April.
April 20th.
There you go. At UVU. All right. Next question comes in from Will Wonder, West Jordan. If you could, would you be a pro hooper, hip hop artist, DJ, or MC, or a pro wrestler? You already know my answer. I'm gonna be a pro wrestler. Be with The Rock.
Yeah, same. I'd be a pro wrestler. I'd be like Rikishi.
Were you ever into wrestling?
Hell yeah, I used to think that shit was real, man, back in the day.
Yeah, we were all let down.
It is real.
It is
Yeah, it's
real.
real.
They still get punched in the face, chairs, tables.
I ain't trying to take no backhand to the chest.
Yeah, you still got to be an athlete to do it, though.
Have you had a chance to see them lately?
Yeah, I'll be watching it. I'll be watching Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh, Monday Night Raw tonight. In The Rock's back and just seeing, it's cool, man, because now when I was a kid, it was the 80s, the Ultimate Warrior, you know what I mean? Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, and now my son gets to see the bloodline, like Jey Uso, Rikishi's sons, right? Like, it's cool to see the generational switch. and now they get the chance to believe it too. Yeah. All right, so we'll all be wrestlers. All right, so last question here. This is a question that was asked to me on another podcast. Marty, I do 2 podcasts. This is Unrestricted, where I have guests, and I do another podcast called Isolation 20, where it's just me and I get my thoughts out. And I was asked this question on isolation, so I want to bring it to you guys. And I believe I've already brought it to you. But Marty, I want to know, can you love unconditionally?
Unconditionally. I don't think so, dog. I mean, I think as a person, you have a right to have expectations of people. You know what I mean, you expect them to act a certain way and live up to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't meet those expectations, I mean, it's not like you just gonna put a person to the wayside just for one thing. I mean, depending on what those things are, but we all got deal breakers, man. Mm-hmm. We do. I mean, you can't. Well, I don't know, but I know if my wife or my broad, I walked in, somebody pulling a train on her or something like that, like, we're done. You know what I mean? I can't forgive you. Like, that's not unconditional. You know what I mean? That's a condition.
You went to the most extreme.
I had to. I felt like I needed to make it a shock value.
A train, damn.
Yeah.
No, I hear you, man. I think that's the deal breaker for me as well, and it is for her as well. If I was out here fucking around on my
Same
wife,
shit.
I'd be gone, right?
Yeah.
But does it change with your kids? You know what I mean? You're about to be a father. We had this conversation. Your kid ends up being Jeffrey Dahmer or a school shooter, or that chomo that has to roll it up and get out of here.
Ooh-wee.
What do? Do you still love your kid?
You went to the extreme. I mean, I was extreme.
I know from my mom and my grandma would love me unconditionally, regardless if, you know, I was the chomo or whatever that, you know, whatever. There's nothing I couldn't do that my grandma would not love me or my mom wouldn't love me, you know. So I feel like, yes, there's unconditional love. And when I have my daughter and future kids, like I feel like there's nothing they could do that where I still want to support them and love them. And God forbid they end up, you know, doing something horrible, but I'm still going to ride with them. They're, you know, they're mine. So
gotta roll with your kids, man. I really appreciate you guys coming through, Marty. I would love to do a part 2, man. How'd you feel about this, man? How'd you feel?
No, it was cool, man. I liked it, man. It was easy. So I enjoyed myself. It was nice talking with you, man.
Yeah, I want this to be a platform and a place for other guys. You know what I mean? If you guys have homies that want to do this, tell them to hit me up. Let's do it. Let's do this again. And yeah, like I said, man, part 2. We're gonna do a part 2. We'll talk a little bit more fun stories and maybe not so fun stories. And I hope if you are a listener and you heard this podcast and you got inspiration, maybe motivation to either pick up that pen and write somebody that's in the inside or help somebody through a tough time in their life, drop a comment. Let us know, because I think a good message can go a long way, for sure.
Most definitely.
Anything else that we didn't cover that you want to talk about?
Not really. Yeah, we'll save something for part 2, right?
There you go.
I only got so much in me.
We gotta get you a Jazz jersey.
I can't.
You can't do it?
I would rock one, though. I got a bunch of homies that are Jazz fans.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me what happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I can rock a Jazz jersey and feel great about it.
You see all those faces. That was before the shot went down. They never show the after. The after is the heartbreaker.
I can see that it's giving you some PTSD.
Oh, man. I'm not even like a huge Jazz fan. I'm a Portland Trailblazer. You know what I mean? I love the Blazers. I grew up with Rasheed Wallace, Damon Stoudemire, Bonzi Wells, Dutlet Shrimp, you know. But at the same time, like Antoine Carr, Hornacek, Harpering. I don't really mess with Karl Malone, but Karl Malone, you know, they give those guys a statue with no chip. Ain't that crazy? Give those dudes a statue.
Because it was against Jordan, so they're like,
Hey, but Utah though, man, that's one thing I gotta say about this state, man. They be repping their little dudes that come out of here like. Even if you got a loss, you got the shit behind no matter what, and you can be on Sports Center or KSL. I mean,
Oh, they're about to
sue.
fucking give Andre Karolinko a statue next. Probably the best nickname in the NBA though. AK-47. That's pretty hard.
They need to give OSHA tag of those.
Double O. Any social media you want to? I know you got your fight coming up for 420.
Nah, just
420.
If you mess with me, come on out, man. We're gonna. I want all the smoke. It's 420. It's my favorite holiday, so homeboy's coming. I'm coming off a loss. You guys see me. I got tapped out, and I got a lot of personal adversity I need to face within myself, and man, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be a show, and if you're a fan of me and you're just entertained of fighting, like I suggest you come out because I'm gonna give it everything I got, and I got a chip on my shoulder, and it's something I got to prove to myself, and I feel like it's gonna be entertaining for all the fans.
You were in St. George. How was those fights?
They were great, man. Yeah, didn't really get the outcome we wanted. I was there for Zach and my other boy, but from Agima, and he got the win. And I feel like Zach did enough to get the win, but you leave it up to the judges, man. It's always a hard thing. So I know he'll be back. He looked really good, and I was impressed.
That's what he was saying. He was like, I think I had enough to get the win, but you got judges. I don't even know how you judge. Like, there's so much going on in that cage. I would hate to be a judge.
Yeah, it's fuck leaving it up to the judges.
Well, he ain't leaving it to the judge. And on 420, Marty, is this something that are you gonna try to get out there?
Yeah, man. I think I might try to dabble in the YouTube situation. You can catch me at Martin Spook. That's Martin DA Spook. So get at me if you want to check out what I got to say. Might have to do part 2 when you come on my channel, brother.
Oh, for real? You gonna answer questions?
We might have to do it.
Yeah.
We might have to.
He's gonna be like, when the first time you had a Twinkie?
Still worried about COVID.
Yeah. You can't even say COVID on YouTube no more. They'll flag it. Yeah, take it down.
It's good to know.
Yeah. Cool, brother. Well, I appreciate you guys' time. Again, to find out more, make sure you follow both of these brothers right here. And if you want to support the channel, make sure you go on to allrock.com, ALLRAWK.com. You can always follow me on Instagram at DreRocka, DRERAWKA. And share it. Share it. That's the best thing that you can do. Maybe not even donate money, but share this content, share the stories. Without further ado, let's end this thing. I hope you have the day you deserve. Protect your light. We out. Peace.